What's up, people? I am back. Tried doing this video last night, but I fell asleep. Well, no, I did one, but I felt like it didn't come out right. So I just scrapped it because it was really late. So I just was like, fuck it, I'll just scrap it and I'll do it in the morning. But today I am reviewing Lady in the Water. This movie, it's fucking weird. That's all I can really say. I remember watching it the first time back in, I think it was either 2008 or 2009. It was several years after it came out. And I was just, this is fucking weird. I still think that. I think there is some good things. Like, I think there's some decent performances. Paul Giamatti really tried. And I thought he had some decent chemistry with Bryce Dallas Howard. Thought she did fine. She did a good job playing like this, girl from a different place. Like this, she almost like, not gonna say alien, but she kind of played it like an alien in a way. Like, a girl who doesn't belong. I thought she did that pretty well. But basically, she has to try to get back home, and she needs a storyteller, essentially, to get her back. And basically, the movie is basically they got to figure out who it is. And I think that aspect I like. I can't deny and say it's not self-indulgent when M. Night literally makes himself a writer in the movie. It's very on the nose a little bit. I mean, even naming the girl's story, but I do like it a little. I do like a little bit of the fairy tale aspect. I like the story itself with how they go into the Narf and all these things about that story and the guards, and I like that aspect about it. And I thought they did a decent job with the scrunt, it's throughout the film you see this wolf thing that's like covered in like grass, and essentially it can like blend in with the grass, and it looked good, like the CGI and stuff. It didn't look bad, so I'll say like that definitely you could tell M. Night put work into that aspect about it. It's just, yeah, there is some weird dialogue moments. I mean, like, the cast is bad. You have Jeffrey Wright there. I thought the guy who played Reggie, even though initially Reggie just seemed like your typical tough dude, bro. He actually's not a bad character. And then the writer Vic, who they think initially is the writer. So I think there is definitely like some decent characters. It's not a horrible movie by any means. I'm not going to sit here and say it's M. Night's worst. I mean, no. I mean, we've seen The Happening, we've seen The Last Airbender, After Earth, like any of those three, you could say are his worst. This isn't it. It's definitely not great. I don't think I'm going to probably watch it again after tomorrow, or after yesterday, I mean. Like, I'm definitely probably not going to go on my way to watch it again. But it's not the worst movie in the world. Like, I kind of get what M. Night was trying to do, but I just think he could have did it a bit better. But, it's an okay watch. It's just, I'll admit, it is a fucking weird movie. But, yeah. Besides that, later today, I'm going to be reviewing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation, which, man, that movie is often regarded as one of the worst Texas movies. It is. For me, it's not the worst, but it's definitely pretty bad, but it's bad. It's bad in a good way, though. I mean, Matthew McConaughey, he knows how ridiculous the story is, so he just lets loose. So I'll be reviewing that later tonight, but we'll get started on Lady in the Water. movie opens up. Paul Giamatti, he's like he usually like fix ups apartments and stuff. This has been his life after his family is murdered, which I do wish. I feel like they do just kind of gloss over that a little bit. Like, there is one line like in the movie where they do mention it, but it is just kind of, yeah, his family's murdered. Yeah, that's him. There you go. He does just kind of gloss over that. Like, they don't even really go into it. I get it. It's not really Paul Giamatti's story. It's about story. I know. It's so fucking weird saying that, but it's weird because, yeah, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, his family's murdered. Oh, okay. So he lives in this apartment. He like knows everybody, welcomes the new guy, and kind of shows them around like who people in the apartment are. Which that's an okay way to kind of introduce the characters. Then one night, while in the pool, he notices a woman is in danger. Which I'll admit, whenever they do shoot the pool, it looks like the cinematography. They actually, M. Night like tries to make the cinematography for the pool like this crazy shit, and it's just a shot of an apartment building pool. But I'll give him that. Like, he tried to make it like this epic. Every time like he would show it, it was like this. He would do this crazy shot of it. Like, it's like he wanted to like this is the spot. But yeah, so you notice she's in danger. He ends up saving her. And she explains that she needs to get back home and that she's here to find a storyteller. So initially he tries to take her back outside to basically to like one of the like pool the things outside pools that you usually can lay on. So he tried to do that, but then the Scrunt tries to attack them, and that's kind of like our first shot of it. And then he starts introducing story to people. And I'll admit, I think the other negative about this movie is kind of slow. Like, I'm not one of these people like I need action every scene or I need something happening. I can handle like a slow burn or a slow build, but this was just, there are points where I'm just like, okay, can we kind of speed it up here? But yeah, so Paul tries to deduce who he thinks the writer is, the new guy, Vic, that moved in, and basically tries to get them together. And then also she explains that she needs a healer. I think it's like a big whole thing. A healer, I can't remember it. I just read it. But yeah, she needs like a bunch of people for the process, so she starts talking to the people in the apartment, and initially he gets some fake info about who the story is and who the guard is and who the watchers are, and that's what she needs. It's like a watcher, a healer. She says the healer is like some lady in the apartment. Oh, before that, Chum, she's like this Asian woman you would see throughout the film. Her mom knows the story. So basically her mom is just the narrator of the story because he mentioned that that story brought up Narf, and that her mom remembers this folktale from her grandma. So like then, they go into that. That's basically the film for most of it, is Paul trying to figure out what a Narf is and what this story is. So that's basically the movie for like the first bit. And then, yeah, so they initially plan to do this party as a distraction so they could try to send Story home, but Story ends up getting hurt by the Scrunt. They do like a fake out death, which you think she's dead, but no, she's not really. But then we find out that the interpreter, that's the other one they needed, was like an interpreter. They find out that the interpreter is this boy, which is Jeffrey Wright's son throughout is actually Jeffrey Wright's, and that's when we get like the actual Wright information. And yeah, M. Night writes himself as a writer. He's literally just a writer in the movie. I don't remember his name because they don't really say his name a lot. But yeah, so I can't deny and say that is a little bit on the nose. Like, bruh, you made yourself a writer. but it doesn't hurt the movie. Like, that's not why I think it's weird. I just think, you know, more what I think is weird. I think it's probably the performances, some of them anyway. Some of the dialogue, I'm like, okay, this is a little weird. None of this is making any sense. But like I said, it's not a horrible movie. I get kind of what M. Night was trying to do. I think the only problem is you need this kind of story. Ironically, you need world building, and I don't think there was really any world building in this movie. Or they tried, but it didn't. It doesn't really come off as world building in this. So I think that was one of my issues with this movie. There's no world building. You just kind of get dropped. Oh yeah, this is all happening. And maybe M. Night should have did a sequel. I think this is one of the cases. Forgot who brought it up to me. A friend of mine, Blake, I think, was the one who brought it up to me. That they should have just did a follow up to this. And I agree. I honestly think you could have. This is one of those cases. There's more to the story. But I'd rather have a two of this than any of his other movies at this point. But yeah, so they strategize how to get Story back home. So they get ready to get her back home, and you see like this. So yeah, there is some like shots of like some eagles and these crazy looking fantasy characters. So I thought those look good. Because there's the eagle that's basically you see like in the end that's basically there to take her home. The Scrunt tries to attack, but Reggie basically scares it off because he gives it this intense stare. Essentially, I guess that scares it off. Okay. I'll admit, Paul and Story have a nice little send off in the end there. That was it's a nice little moment. See, they have a moment, but then she goes off, and then the movie ends really. So like I said, this isn't the worst movie. I liked some of the ideas that this movie was going for, but I think I also think this movie probably could have been longer, and maybe you could have spent more time on some of these concepts, because I feel like these are just concepts that are just thrown out there, but there's no like actual substance with it. That's probably why I can't call it a good movie, because there's not a lot of substance. I mean, I think there's some, but I do think you needed more. You have like all these concepts, and just I feel like a lot of them are like unexplored. I think is a good word. That's the word I'm thinking of. Unexplored. Very not. I think they could have done more with them. There's some okay performances. I'm not gonna there's these stoner guys. They don't even give them names. They're just stoner characters that you see in like an apartment. They're like your stereotype. They have like dreads. All you do when you see them is they're just stoned all the time, like me. To be fair, so, but yeah, it's not a horrible movie. I think there were some decent, especially from like Jeffrey Wright. Paul Giamatti did a pretty good job. I thought Bryce did her job well as like the outsider coming in. Thought she did a good job at like playing like she's the outsider and she's like confused on what's going on. I thought she portrayed that very well. But yeah, this movie is weird. I think there's some unexplored concepts that M. Night should have explored more. Probably shouldn't have made himself a fucking writer in the movie. That is, that is on the nose like a motherfucker. So, but overall, 6 out of 10 movie. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna probably watch this one again. But it's nowhere near his worst movie. It's just not. It's just not. It's definitely, there's just some ideas in there that you needed more exploring of, but yeah, I wouldn't sit here and say it's his worst movie. It's just not. So, but other than that, later tonight, like I said, Texas Chainsaw Next Generation review. Then tomorrow, I will be reviewing Jack Frost, which that movie is a masterpiece, and I'm gonna explain why I put quotes. Can't wait to talk about that one, but anyway. And just wait for the thumbnail. But anyway. Lady in the Water, 6 out of 10 movie. Not the worst thing in the world. But there's some concepts there that you needed way more exploration of. But yeah. But as usual, I'm gonna cheers and peace out. But I'll talk to y'all in I guess several hours from now. But fuck Joe Biden, fuck Kamala Harris. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.